want a Chippy Tee. Chippy Tee, Chippy Tee, I want a Chippy Tee. Oh, you keep giving me posh, no, she don't agree with me. I don't want lobster thermidor with raspberry Kool-Aid. It's Friday night, I'm within me rights. I want a Chippy Tee.
Now that I've got an MHM.
Now that he's got an MHM, he's great.
Yeah.
Oh, corporate line. Corporate line, dearie me. Yeah, one day we'll meet in person. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I'll have to have a visit.
Yeah, come over here, be. Yeah.
Shit. I hate it.
Earphones in, you can say it as loud as you want.
Nah, man, I lying. I love it. What were you saying now? So you had a lovely time. It must be hard not to have a lovely time in a beautiful country such as Sweden.
just north of Afghanistan. Yeah. Yeah, it's you know, I've been here a couple of times. I like it here, especially Christmas market time.
Oh, have you been to like one?
Oh, I've been to two. Yeah, nobody does a Christmas market like Germans. All the Christmas markets you've ever been to are trying to be like the normal ones over here.
Oh yeah. I've been to Leeds, been to Winter Wonderland in London, and I know it's not a fraction of the real deal.
No, it's a community-based event. It's really nice. I like it. Went to one in stayed in Rosenheim, so I went to one there, and I went to one in Kufstein last night.
Wow.
Not a big fan of warm wine, but
You're there, aren't you?
yeah.
We're obsessed. Me and Ailey are obsessed with this bloke on YouTube called Walk with Tim, and he just walks. He just goes on holiday every flipping day, and he goes all over the place. And he did an episode on all German Christmas markets, and it just looks unbelievable. It looks like unreal. Like our Christmas markets are copy and paste. They're quite big, but you walk around them, but you're just walking around the same 4 or 5 hot dogs shop, stalls, just copy and pasted in each area.
Yeah.
Whereas in Germany, it looks like every little cabin was like its own individual handcrafted product. So it looked really
and
impressive.
the food and the wine and the half of the stuff I just can't pronounce, but it's still nice. I have to take a friend with me. What's this called again? It's just this mix of a rum and a honey and a tea and a coke. Oh, just delicious.
Oh, wow. I'll have to get out of this little cave one day and go see some places. I think Amsterdam's going to kick it off, and if I can get to
you're going to do Amsterdam, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're bringing our Ailey?
No, Ailey's taking me to make sure I get there safe.
I'm going to say you do need a chaperone, so
just getting through airport will be like I need hand holding through that.
I couldn't travel with you, not on your first time.
No. Well, Ailey's going to take me, show me ropes, and I'm sure I'll be able to be a jet setter from there after.
Oh yeah, world's your oyster. Right,
do you want to kick in, lad?
Let's kick it off. We're on what, 65?
65 or 66. Let me double check. I'll be seconds.
Didn't bring me a light.
Oh, it's not many difference to it, don't worry. 66. Yeah. We'll just have to start doing audio only again, like we said in first place.
First 8, yeah.
That's what we said we were going to do. We're not doing it like everybody else.
I said I'd do this, but under no circumstances will we do video. I remember distinctly saying that.
Had a difference though, didn't it?
Well, it's because I'm vain, basically. Right, here we go. Hold on tight, you suicide riders. The louder you scream, the faster we go. It is episode 66. You just told me and I've forgotten. 66.
Yeah.
You just literally told me about a minute ago and I've forgotten.
I had to think about it as well.
Episode 66 of the Chippy Tea podcast. What is the Chippy Tea podcast, I hear you ask? It is your chance to catch up with a regular video call between me, Tony P. of Palmprint, and
Danny Day, Flippy Sweet Pinko.
Now, you see, that feels better, doesn't it?
That came out perfect, didn't it, that time?
Yeah, that felt a lot better. Yeah.
Felt very natural.
Yeah, we'll join us as we have a bit of a natter about all things screen print related. I don't think so. With just the occasional squirrel and Heidi from the mountains thrown in. As we recap, basically, since we last spoke, we're doing all right. It's only been a week since we last spoke, so...
Yeah, we've been very punctual this time, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm suspicious.
Honestly, since I've got that auto, which you'll have to forgive me for not being in background this episode, I've forgot my microphone, so I've had to come back up here.
You never said you got an auto.
I've got an auto, I've got an MHM from MHM Direct, GB.
Oh, I'm going to ask you, where did you get that from? Come on, stick to the script.
MHM Direct, GB. I tell you. Experts in
there you go.
screen and digital printing.
Not reading that off that list there at all.
Experts in screen. I can't read, so I'm coming off at dawn.
Well, no, we know you can read, but you just get a sore finger when you read it.
That's right, yeah.
So, what's that been up to, Danny? It's been a week. You've been on your auto. I know you've shown me some really nice stuff, so it proves to me you're getting into the hang of it. What have you been playing with?
Well, a lot of we all know that I a bit of a V3 Plastisol combo freak, and really
V3. That's that sponsorship gone completely out of window now. You know that, don't you?
It comes from a place of love. Like, I'm just trying to sell more for you. I do actually genuinely worry at this point. Does it bother them? Because
Magnicolors.
Would it bother them? I think it's funny. I'm just having a bit of fun.
We'll put a message out to Teresa then. So Teresa, get in touch. Are you bothered that Danny calls your fantastic new self-leveling product V3?
Oh dear. I mean, I'm not going to change, even if it does.
No, yeah. It'd just be nice to know.
Just know it comes from a place of love. I quite like it. But really sort of trying to dial that in now. And whereas the previous weeks, it's like try to work the machine out, trying not to make mistakes. Do I press go now? Have I got everything? Have I ticked every box? Which, to be fair, I'm still forgetting little things every now and again. But I'm getting closer and closer to...
That's normal, yeah.
Chucking shirts on and going. And it's sort of almost becoming not far off of muscle memory, step by step. It's just not really thinking about it too much. Which means I'm at a point now where I'm playing with speed and angle and pressure, and I'm dialing. I guess you could use the word I'm dialing. So I had to go with some flash print white. It was a very simple print. It was just white with red on top.
Yeah, you showed me it. I thought it was superb.
Yeah, I showed you because
nice and crisp, nice and bright.
So nice to feel.
So good. It looked great.
Yeah, I think it was the first time. So I've done that job on this press up here. So I've got a reference point, and it felt so much better. It used to be good.
It's hard. It's hard to compare the two because you've got so much ultimate control on your manual press.
Exactly.
That you can actually through a 20-shirt job. Number 19 is going to be 3, 4, 5 times better than number 1 because you're learning as you go along.
Yeah, that's true.
The first 6 that came off were like, yeah, they're nice, and then you just change just a tiny little fraction. You go, oh, that's better now. The customer will never see it, but you see it.
To be fair, I think I'm finding it on the auto because I'm still learning. Because I'm not getting my dialed in points correct straight away. I am making changes on the fly a little bit. Obviously, there's a limit. I mean, I had a problem yesterday, actually. I'm here telling you how comfortable I am with the machine, but I had a nightmare yesterday. There were a number of things I could have done, but the screen started to break down. And so the print was sort of like, it was a chest badge, and you started to see like a fade of white coming through where the screen started to deteriorate. I either A, forgot to post its toes, B, I had too much pressure, or C, I just had me travel a little bit too aggressive.
I'll go with screen. The screens, when they're done properly, when everything's dialed in, that's everything from degreasing all the way through to coating and storage, and then the actual developing. When that's dialed in, it's very difficult to destroy the emulsion with physical printing Obviously,
Yeah.
rock hard blade, no angle, shitloads of pressure and travel. That's going to do it, but it's difficult to do it.
Yeah, there's a topic there which we can touch on a bit later. Actually, the old screen room. I want to revisit in particular chemicals, but let's not deviate just straight away. But anyway, it sort of ruined a few shirts. Just made a new screen and chucked some replacements on and got them done. But I'm learning, and I think what I'm trying to do is to work backwards, take pressure off, take travel off, find
Minimum.
find the minimal amount I can put down.
Find the fail point. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
Apart from speed, I found myself doing the opposite, finding myself turning it up. Not necessarily print speed, but, well, yeah, literally the print stroke. The flood stroke I like nice and slow. The print speed, I'm finding myself dialing it up and up and up because, as you sort of described it, I'm buttering it rather than slowly driving it in, which was sort of counterintuitive to what I'd sort of thought originally.
That works really well with sort of like low body, water-based whites.
Yeah, this is what
it's the same theory as the digital whites, where it gets sprayed on top of the garment.
Yeah.
If you think what a DTG printer does, it just sprays the white on top of the garment. If it pushed it in, it'd lose all its opacity. So it wants to sit on the very top fibres. Now, the problem with plastisol is we'd like to do that, but it doesn't always sit there because it's got to actually release from the screen as well. So it wants to stick to the screen more than it wants to stick to the shirt. So we have to use a little bit more pressure. And with plastisol white, it's finding that balance of enough pressure to get it to leave the nice, warm, cosy stencil, but not too much that it hides in the fibres of the garment and you can't see it because it's down here.
Yeah, you try to create a level shelf to put colours on top of. If you have the fibres, this is where you start to see grainy texture, etc.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just learning, I think it's going to be months of learning, maybe even years. I don't know, but
about 37.
37 years. Yeah,
I'm still learning all the time. You know, I print the job here, and it's not as simple as just load the screens in and use the same settings you used yesterday.
No,
a lot of people ask me, you know, what should the angle be? What should the travel be? What should be the pressure be? And you can't do it. You simply can't have a set of numbers, parameters, values that are the same for everything. No. Because the shirt changes, the ink changes, the design changes, the screen changes, everything fucking changes.
Yeah.
Nothing stays the same.
Every job, every unique artwork presents its own set of challenges. And I guess the only thing you can do with experience and time is get better at preempting what those settings are, running a test print, and then dialing to where you're happy.
It goes back to my fundamentals, if you like.
Yeah.
The basic 6 hills that we die on, the fundamental hills.
They've been upgraded. There used to be 5.
Mesh. Yeah, there used to be 5. There's 6 now. The MHM's got travel and pressure. People get confused between travel and pressure. Travel is the distance that the squeegee moves, and pressure is the force.
Do other autos not have travel?
Yes, but they call it pressure.
Oh, I see. Right.
So the general consensus is the air pressure coming into the press, although it is adjustable, some manufacturers tell the operator after install, don't touch those. If you want to change the pressure, use this. And some lock the travel and call them shock absorbers. So the M&R, for instance, they're called shock absorbers, the travel.
Right.
Because they push back on the piston. And it helps to level the pallets out. They're not perfect. Yeah. But with MHM and with Rock, they've got the centrally, and Anatol, I think, as well, centrally mounted squeegee, which will self-level. So we don't need the shock absorbers. Yeah. We're self-leveling. Yeah. Bit like V3.
Well, Magna-Colours. I tell you what, it's just like, what's the word? Tangent,
deviation.
I had a little chat with Bryce last night and he gave me such a good tip. And I thought it was a really good way of explaining the difference between, let's just say, the MHM registration and an
Yeah.
auto and a manual. So a manual, if you get a piece of paper, put a drawing pin in the centre at the bottom.
Yeah.
That's the pivot point. That's your registration on a manual. It's like a windscreen wiper. You put a pin there and turn your A4 piece of paper. That's your MHM registration. And you know what? I thought that was such a simplistic analogy,
point,
if you like. But isn't it good?
Yeah.
I really liked that. Yeah, I had a little chat with Bryce, and that was nice. We need to get Bryce on at New Year's, I think. Have a look.
Yeah, I was speaking to him myself yesterday. It was going to be at Impressions show in Long Beach with us on an MHM with SPSI.
Oh, that's cool.
So he's going to be on press. Yeah, he's going to be printing on press with me. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, I say with me, he's going to be doing all the work. I'm just going to be stood there looking pretty.
Well, now they've got a real printer.
So yeah, we're just sort of going through the separation process and getting everything ready because we're going to do live changeovers. Yeah. So what mostly you don't go to a show, but if you go to shows, what you'll see a job being run, and this job has probably been thought about all year. So it'll have multiple colours. Magnet colours are worse for this. 17 special effects on a 3-colour print.
They love a special effect, don't they?
Yeah, so it'll have foil, it'll have flock, it'll have glitter and puff, and it'll be suede, and it'll be 7 colours. And you're like, hang on, out of all these 7 colours, 3 of them want printing last. What's going on? They're usually, to be fair, nobody cares about the print. It's all about, they're there to sell machinery. So the print's a bit of a window dressing, really.
Yeah, but I think
you remember the woman that we did in Italy.
I remember.
That was awesome. That was Angelo Barzaghi, and he did superb artwork for that. But I probably put a lot of time into it.
Yeah, I bet.
And once it's set up, once the press is set up, that's it. They don't touch it because they get there early. These things take 3 days to build, so we build it over 3 days, and then somebody comes along and sets the machine, puts all the ink in, gets it all ready to go, and then when the general public walk in, we press start and it prints. Great, super. Well, what we can do with MHMs, because of the fast turnover time, the setup time, is we'll have 4 different jobs, and we'll do a live changeover, sort of like 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and you can come and time it.
That's crazy,
it's no good a salesman saying to you, "Oh, you can set this up in 3 minutes."
Yeah.
Well, watch us change from one job to the next in 3 minutes.
Outrageous. That was the selling point, honestly. For me, the reason I bought an MHM, if anybody wants to call hard truth of it was the registration system. Thinking long term, what's the point of me going and getting an alternative manufacturer press? Which there are many, but I won't name them. Learning that system because it's a bit cheaper, and then thinking, well, I want an S-Type or an SP5000 when I'm absolutely loaded. There's no point, because then it's like getting your head around an all new system twice. So I'm going to get into the system now, and the X-Type is. I couldn't sing enough praises. I love the press, but down the line, that registration, when you start getting to the, you'll probably tell me better than this. I know the SP5000, you've got the you line your one screen up and then press a button and then alt rest register relative to each other.
So instead of a manual registration knob, you've got motors and buttons and data.
Yeah. And then the S-Type, that sort of step between the X and the SP, that's not got the one button, but it has got an impressive screen on it still.
Yeah,
half a mil.
If you categorise the 3, you've got X-Type, which you've got, which is a bit of an entry level. You've got S-Type, which is as good as an entry level and as good as the fashion printer. So it's good for fashion and promotional. If we think of X-Type for promotional, because it's so fast and it's quite a small footprint, and then S-Type for fashion and promotional, and then 5000 for fashion, and then the oval for cut pieces and fashion.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to turn that into an MHM plug. It's just it was fresh on my mind. So
people do ask me, because there are different types, and S, X, and people forget the letters and the numbers.
Yeah.
So and they get confused, especially if one's plus and tied. Now, at one point, there was an S Extreme.
Yeah, I remember seeing.
Don't use X again. Stop using X in it. Although it's done Elon all right. So
Yeah. Crackers. He just likes to see how far he can take the piss. Just see how many people go along with it at this point. How ridiculous can I be?
If you had 300 billion,
You
wouldn't you like to take the piss?
When you're that rich, there's only one thing that could possibly turn you on, and that's like power and control. And you just do stupid shit, wouldn't you? Why not?
I would, yeah.
Like start a war or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, we just got all political, haven't we? So, I don't know if I've asked you yet. I'm a very selfish person sometimes. Where are you? I'm sure we've all worked it out by now.
I'm in PVC land. No,
you're not in Wakey?
No, in Wakey. That's not Wakey, no. That's,
right.
I did say to you earlier that you can just see Julie Andrews' house from here.
I thought I could see Monster Mansion at top there, but that's just a nice little church.
You don't know who Julie Andrews is. I'm in Austria, so they're the Austrian hills behind me in Tyrol,
right.
in a place called Earl, which is where the headquarters of MHM are.
Woo! Bloody love MHM. Am I right, fanboy?
You never said.
I mentioned.
No. So, I'm here sort of having a meeting with some of the guys about, getting some feedback and doing some bits and pieces and planning for the future. And it's good to be involved. It's good to be a little trooper. You seen it? It's good to be involved and get some feedback on what's happening with the presses. Because I go to lots of places and I use lots of different presses, so it's a good sounding board to be going. We should think about this. We should stop doing this. We should start doing this. And it's a nice little event to do.
Yeah, I think a lot of people might get confused. It's probably my fault now at the minute, but that you're like an MHM guy. And of course you are an MHM guy, but you're independent. You will work on any machine and will help any shop. But the advantage to MHM of that is, like, you know everything. You've been there, seen every single press. You know all the advantages, disadvantages,
apparently,
what's good and bad.
There's not much I don't know at the minute, is there?
Honestly,
you started a pile-on there. No, what I say is I teach people how to drive, and I don't care what car you buy afterwards. So basically, why do I like MHM so much? It's because I've used everything else, and that brand makes my life easier as an operator. In a nutshell, I've used every other colour under the sun, and still do. And I've got customers with rocks, I've got customers with M&Rs, I've got a customer with an Adelco Cyclone, Taz, Anatols, and only if you physically have your hands on these presses, in my opinion, are you allowed to give an opinion of them. Because if you've only ever seen one in the pages of a brochure, your opinion means fuck all.
Yeah,
if you've actually physically put a screen in, got some plastisol from under your fingernails, put it in and squeegee in, and ran a job for more than a minute, then you are entitled to have an opinion on that kind of press. But if you've never been near one and you're just reading off the data, well, the salesman says it does 1,280 an hour. Well, it doesn't. It might do if the print's that big and you've got 17 robots behind you built by Elon Musk to print.
Yeah. Do you remember when that print consultant made a claim about somebody with 30 plus years of experience, but how can they be a consultant who don't even print?
Yeah, well, still doing it today, still printing. I've still got plasters on under my fingernails. I've seen a few sort of innovations this week, not particularly here, but not particularly here, around everywhere. We've been thinking about going forward, and I can't wait for this, but I don't think I'll see it to its fruition. Automation of the material handling.
Yeah, you've seen and brought up robot handlers that will unload and stuff like that. Is that what we're talking about?
They are there now.
Right.
But only on cut pieces. So imagine a cut piece. So places like fashion places, they don't buy a Gildan and put Nike on it. No. They go much cheaper than that. Still by two companies.
You can't afford to battle that court case, I tell you.
They take the raw material, they cut the pattern, they print one piece, and then if it fucks up, they only mess one piece up, and then they go and they assemble everything together.
Yeah, cut and
that
sew.
means that you have a uniform shape and style of piece of fabric to print on.
Yep.
Well, as soon as you make it uniform, you can get something to handle it. And I've seen robots that put on and robots that take off.
Yeah.
And I've also seen an example of a scanner. So years ago, M&R brought out something called Passport.
I remember this. I think we talked about
which is unusual for M&R, because normally they name them after Arnold Schwarzenegger films. What does it do? It puts glue on. Okay. They have the Passports, been out a while, and it basically pulls T-shirts off and puts them on dryer. But the only problem with that is it will take every shirt off, good or bad. So if you run out of white ink and you're busy loading over here and you can't see it because Metal Mickey's taking off the shirts, then it just keeps taking off shit shirts. And I've seen an example of a scanning machine which basically compares every print to a pre-stored PDF, and if it doesn't match, it doesn't take it off. It's the simplest of ideas.
That's good,
but
though.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, and I'm also, there's a machine now that stacks on the end of the dryer.
Oh, wow.
So it catches on the end of the dryer. Shirts, T-shirts, bags, hoodies, and catches them and stacks them.
Does it rely on the timing being right?
Nope.
It sort of like knows it's there, grabs it when it's ready. That's cool.
Well, I love it that much that I'm sort of like, I said to the guys, look, I'll sell that in England if you want it to. So if you're interested in a stacking system for end of dryer, because we were talking yesterday, the cost of labour is crazy for our industry, and it wavers so much. Right up in North America, where there's not a lot of people, 25 quid an hour to catch on end of a dryer.
God.
Right down in San Salvador, about 25 quid for a week.
Yeah, this is where you're like, worth it. You get to over and you're like, oh God, it's so expensive. Get me some robots.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's a direct cost. But if you can remove one person from end, like if you had a little robot on end of your dryer.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, you'd have to have your dryer downstairs. But if you had a little robot on end of dryer,
it's downstairs.
you'd never stop. You know what I mean? Because you'll stop to catch them out of a bucket.
Oh, this is one of my big hurdles at the minute. The big hurdle for me is
there's a machine that just sits on in the dryer and stacks them for you into 20s or 30s. And you go down, you get the stack, and it's all nice and neat. And next, I was seriously looking at it. I'm gonna spend a bit of time on it in the early new year, and I'm gonna look into it. If anybody wants any information, let me know. Because I think they're a good idea, and they've been out a while.
Yeah, it's interesting. We don't see it so often, do we? It's something that's not took off. Robots in general, you've seen them in the odd mega factory. I can imagine somewhere like your mate Max. Is he all right, by the way? Have you heard from him in a while?
Yeah, he's doing all right. Yeah, he's not very busy, but he's doing all right.
Yeah, I mean, it's anyway. We all know what's going on over here.
There's not much tourist work around now.
No, and obviously the old. You've been to.
So in places like China
and
this
one, guess for shop. Well, where am I putting my arm? My hand.
I know exactly what you're saying. I just can't believe you did it.
I've played that game in ages. Right, enjoyed that. Oh, that's made my day, that. I'm going to have a right good day after that.
Places like that. Again,
possibly
cut pieces.
Yeah.
Cut pieces. So, pretty much everything handles the same, and they've got a machine that picks the edges up and blows it and then just drops it onto
that's cool,
onto dryer. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, so you're having a very good day, good trip, week, a few days anyway.
Yeah, just a few days, back today. So, and then winding down for Crimbo.
Yeah, bloody Christmas on it around the corner. I mean, I've got actually today, the 15th. Technically,
Last day.
last day. It's not my last day. I'll be working next week, and I'll be working off at weekend. The last few orders up on that board here, they'll be finished
Wednesday.
today, Saturday, Sunday, and they'll be picked up Monday. And then anything due out before Christmas is done. Technically, this year is finished. I've got a bit more printing to do after that, but it's stuff that's not due till January, which I'll just do just because I want to learn on my press and I want to keep going, really. It's funny because normally I'd be desperate for a break, and sometimes my hands is forced where I still can't sort of stop even over Christmas because I've got so much stuff to do. I don't really want a break. I want to keep going at the minute. I'm not ready. I mean, I'm tired. I'm probably mentally exhausted after everything I've done this year, but I just want to carry on. I want to crack on.
Yeah.
But
You want to play with your new toys.
I guess that's right, yeah. And it's just learning and getting used to it. And because I'm still that little bit, like yesterday I had a bad day, I made a few mistakes and did silly stuff, and I thought I'd sort of got out of that. I thought I'd passed that point. That sort of spurred me on, like, no, let's get some more printing done. Just so it's all muscle memory and you don't even have to think about things. But yeah, anyway, we've done this conversation. So how long?
So talking about Christmas, then you've got the same problem I've got. Your work's Christmas do is a sad affair.
Isn't it just?
It's just me.
Well, I
think we should have a Chippy Tee works Christmas do. Anybody that works on their own is invited.
Yeah, I mean, if we're coming to my shop, we could fit about 2 of you in.
Christmas do. We'll have it at a posh place.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
At Weatherspoons.
Yeah, we'll go to Spoons.
We'll go to Spoons. Yeah.
Have a couple
Chippy
of jugs.
Tea works Christmas do at Spoons. If you work on your own and there's not enough of you to fill a tap room, then we'll have a Weatherspoons works Christmas do.
We'll have a couple of jugs of Blue Lagoon from Witherspoons in honour of MHM.
Blue Lagoon.
You remember that stuff?
Like a copy of Wicked.
Yeah, it was Witherspoons. Like I remember when I was a kid, we used to go to Witherspoons, get pissed, and we would get jugs of this Blue Lagoon. It was a bright blue cocktail. It was real nice. I'm sure they still do it. I think we did a blue one, an orange one, and a purple one. And then we used to do something called
cocktails for kids.
Yeah, well, kind of. I mean, I don't know what we expected when we started making bright coloured drinks. Maybe we had one called like Goldschlager or something. And it was a shot with little bits of gold. Yeah. It was like cut your throat a little bit, like scratch your throat. That was what
sounds
I said.
Delicious.
Anyway. Yeah, lovely. So I will go get pissed ass for wins.
Yeah, sounds like a right plan.
In all seriousness,
we'll do it, but if not, we'll do it virtual. If not,
virtual. Yeah, we'll have a virtual piss up. Well, are you free next week?
Yeah,
you are, or would it be more convenient after Christmas in the new year?
No, I'm free. This is my last gig this year.
You want to come over?
Yeah, absolutely.
Have a go on press and then record the Christmas episode there, or set camera up.
Yeah.
Get a couple of beers in.
Sounds like a plan.
Right.
Chippy Tea Christmas do.
Don't forget your Christmas jumper.
Okay. Like you did last time.
Yeah. Last year, we had this idea, let's put Christmas jumpers on. And of course, I left it till literally 3 minutes before we were about to record. So I ran over the road to Boys, and they had one Christmas jumper left, and it was like 2 sizes too small. So we sat there recording, and I'm like, I can't breathe. And then I got to what happened. Something happened, and I was like, "Shit, it's not recorded." We lost it all, didn't we? Lost the entire episode.
I think we lost it all. Yeah.
Ended up doing it in my bedroom or something daft.
We were early days, weren't we? We weren't professional.
Well,
not like as slick as we are now.
Not as slick as we are now.
Little trooper.
Yeah. Little trooper. Daddy's little trooper. Daddy's little trooper. Mummy's little trooper. If it's not one problem, it's your mother. That's what I always say.
Debbie's little trooper.
Debbie's little trooper. So, how are you on adhesives? I've been doing my head in a bit at a minute.
Yeah, so.
I thought I got a little contraption that were going to make my life so much easier. Well, I didn't actually. Let me see if I find
Comedy gold.
You knew it was going to be shit, didn't you? You dick. Let me spend 30 odd quid for now. I wonder if Cam will pick it up. Oh, it's going to be too bright, isn't it?
It's a bit bright, yeah.
That's annoying. Anyway, you've
Well,
never seen
we could share a screen.
Yeah, that's effort, isn't it?
There
Anyway,
was an
just like,
automatic glue dispenser with a built-in roller.
yeah, you put the so it was
It's
like a roller with
a hopper at top.
That's right, yeah. But it just pissed everywhere. So you had no control of it. So I ended up with like this much of water-based ink. Put my hand on it, I couldn't get it off. It took me about 100 shirts before it was like sort of usable again. So that was a waste.
So
it's in bin, by the way.
Did you just straight bin it?
I give it about 20 minutes to be honest, and chucked it in bin.
So my take on glue is this: the number one best thing, which gives the most longevity, has the most even distribution, has the strongest tack without distortion, is spray tack.
I know.
But spray tack is bad for everything. It's bad for the press because your press gets covered in shite.
Yeah.
If you ever see some pictures from Richard Potter,
oh yeah,
Kirk on Riptide, yeah, you'll see the people that have just constantly sprayed, and it's usually head 1 and head 8 that get absolutely blathered so much that you can't even turn the registration knob. And I've seen places like that. Well, we don't use that one. Why? Because there's so much glue on it, you can't get to it. Yeah, it's basically glued solid. We're breathing it in. It's not good for that. The CFCs used to be in them, but I think they've taken them out now. The bounce back, we can have extracting systems that don't really work very well, and they're high maintenance. So the best thing for to perform the task of holding a piece of fabric as it goes around a moving printing machine, using heat and pressure, is spray adhesive.
Oh yeah, it's so much easier. But...
So then we've got, okay, well, if we don't want to use spray adhesive because it's carcinogenic and because we're all breathing it in and it's getting stuck to it, well, what can we do? Well, we can use water-based glue.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the disadvantages of water-based glue? Well, it's got to dry, so there's maybe a bit of delay in there. And you've got to apply it. Okay, but it's better. Yeah, it's just PVA glue. So how do we actually apply it then? Well, going back to 94, 95, I had it built onto a press where every time it indexed, the spray came out and it sprayed as it indexed.
Oh wow!
And I used to buy the same glue that you've got now from Tecmar, I think it was.
Yeah, Tecmar's a big one, isn't it?
In a 200-litre blue drum.
Yeah.
Fill my little compressor up, put it into the air system, and it came out of 2 car spraying nozzles. That's all they were, 2 proper car spraying nozzles, held on an optical sensor over an arm, over pallets, and it sprayed as it went past. Superb idea. Logically, solves the problem completely. No, I've never eaten so much glue in my life. Because it always used to block. So when it blocked and you're poking about with it, and you're checking it's got pressure on, you just lift this up and you get fucking bukkake party. It was just hot. It was like, what?
Don't to say it, didn't you? I'm going to clip that bit. That's the post. That's the Instagram story tomorrow. Oh, nice. Oh, God.
And it was always me that had to clear this glue up. And it was just horrible to use. So then we went away from spraying it. And we went to rollering it and carding it. So people card it. So when you card it, I'm not enjoying all over the fucking place.
It does. You get dribbles outside pallets, which I don't like because I like to keep my pallets clean. I'm purposely wrapping my paper. What I used to do is put my application tape on them and trim edges. But now I'm wrapping it around for that purpose. Keep my pallets clean.
You're either a folder or a cutter. There's 2 types of people. You either fold or trim.
I used to trim, but it keeps it cleaner now. I think just because there's that lovely shiny inch, maybe a bit less than an inch. side on the MHM honeycomb pallets from MHM Direct GB. I'm trying to keep them as clean as possible. And plus, the other thing with it as well is when you're running a knife across, you used to get it a lot on rubber. There's always that chance of nicking it. But yeah, at the minute I'm carding it, so I've got a typical vinyl wrappers, a couple of old squeegees lying around from the old vinyl days, a couple of old little squeegees lying about. So I just card it on, and but it takes ages, and it's not. I don't like that application. It's a bit slow and not accurate. So I thought, well, I'll get this little roller mechanism. That's safe pissing about. It was garbage because you can't control it. So I've just thought, you know what? This will be so much easier. I've got a little sport water drinking bottle full of my adhesive. Got one of them. Splash it on, and then I've got some disposable rollers, foam rollers. So I can use them for a bit, lob them in bin, chuck another one on. Because the only
you know the rollers that you use for back at radiator and stuff. They're only about 4 inches.
Yeah, they are 4 inch.
Everybody uses them.
Yeah,
and just put them in a plastic bag.
Well, this is the thing as well with them. If you get all too expensive or whatever, yeah, well, it'll only last so long, but what? And just bin them.
No,
they're cheap enough.
It's the air that gets to it. They are cheap enough.
Yeah. Or you could maybe use like an ink pot with
full of water.
Yeah, just chuck it in the morning. So I'm going to try that route. I mean, there are other options out there. Obviously, we've talked about it in the past, which I'm tempted to try again. So there's what's that spray called again? The Spider-Man jizz.
F20.
F20. Alex swears by it. Now he uses the canister with the car spray.
Car spray. Yeah.
And he swears by it on shirts as well, which shocked me a little bit.
It's all about technique with that.
It is.
I've shown you that video of a guy up in Stockport. It's a company we don't talk about anymore because they didn't pay me. They're very creative in their apparel.
I don't know the name. Somebody will twig.
And they use it on everything. And they got the technique down to a T, and I watched him do it. That looks like too much. But then when I put it on, I was like, "Oh, that's awesome!" Let me have a go. So I had a go.
Made a right mess.
Absolute disaster.
So I had a couple of cans knocking about, still left over, because I had a go with some aerosols, the aerosol canisters, and I did I don't know if you saw, I did a post it with the Yorkshire skydiving hoodies, about 200 hoodies front and back. I did that job with it. I thought, I'm going to give this another go after speaking to Alex. And with the spray can, actually, I got the knack of it. There was a movement that put it down nice and smooth rather than lumpy bumps of Spider-Man jizz everywhere. And you didn't need a lot either. You didn't need to like evenly plaster your palette. You just like a couple of streaks and it'll fine. So I am tempted to have a go of a canister. It's a bit of a chunk of money. It's like 400 quid by the time you've done. But I could be tempted to give that a go.
There's 2 types of spray adhesive. And people sometimes forget. Actually, there's probably 3 if you split them down.
Spray adhesives, right.
Spray adhesives. And people forget. They think that everything you buy in a can is the same. And it's not. If you go back to the old Sericol days, we had T-Fix and Flash Fix.
Right.
And the main difference between them all is one is formulated for heat, and one isn't.
Yeah.
So the cheaper one, which is a very fine mist, is usually not formulated for heat.
Right. And
then the more adhesive one, which is formulated for a higher temperature of heat, that was usually the better one. You used to call it Flash Fix. I think Sericol still make it as well. And then, apart from those 2, there's also a web tack.
Yeah.
So web tack comes out in that silly string, like the F20, like the Tencel stuff, like the Spider-Man's jizz.
Yeah.
It is not a mist. No. So you need spare nozzles all the time.
Yeah,
it is a very gluey, and you can get a texture, a ripple on your palette.
If you don't,
which over time you can see through your ink in your base white. You can see those lumps.
On hoodies, it's not as bad if you're doing hoodies because it's obviously hoodies got a sort of a texture, but on t-shirts that would be a problem. I found it's sort of a case of how close you hold it. You almost do it, like if you're if you're spraying a car or something, it's like
your name on side at co-op.
spraying your name up. Flipping
DD
slicks.
was here.
Yeah, it's just an act to it, that's all. And I would like to try without having to lump out £400 to find I don't like it. Be a thing. So maybe one day I'll just take the plunge. I think the trick to that though is when I had a negative experience with it. So I paid some really expensive hoodies, and they released from the pallet onto hoodies, and it looked like somebody made a right mess at back of. Had a real good time at the back of the inside of every single hoodie. And that bleeding party of yours. And I had to get my spot gun. And I've found that luckily if you spot gun the glue and get a t-shirt, you could rub it off. So I saved the job. But spent about 6 hours rubbing the glue off of these hoodies.
This is a bit of a sore point with me and Sarah at Heck Press.
Well, hang on. The solution is this: it's heat. Don't let your parts get cold. That's what solved it. I realised that because I was doing it on manual, and it was just black on cream hoodies. The pallets were cold, so it was pulling it off instead of sticking. Sorry, you made.
I was helping Sarah at Heck Press put some glue on the pallets, and we'd got the roller and got the squirter. We're making silly faces and S's, and then they all fucking came off on the inside of hoodies because it wasn't quite dry.
I've
never known water-based glue mark the inside of a shirt before, but
if you put it on too quick, heat.
Yeah,
because so cold.
Just no heat. Yeah. I
found that the water-based, if your pallet's hot enough, you'll see it evaporating. You'll see the moisture leave. You'll see like a mist.
And it goes clear.
Then it goes clear, and then you can chuck a t-shirt on after that. If you put it on when it's white, it'll stick to the underside of your garment. Yeah. These things happen, Tony. We all make mistakes.
Yeah, like I said, we're always learning. I don't recommend doing that anymore. Sorry, Sarah.
And then print grip. I might give that another go as well. And double-sided tape as well.
I'm seeing it more. I'm seeing the print grip more. So, and there's a couple of big shops, I think it was Night Owls that I was talking to. They've been using it for over a couple of years now.
Yeah.
Started on one press, went to two, and now it's on all the presses, and they love it.
Yeah.
The double-sided tape, I love at an exhibition.
I couldn't get it to stick to the pallets. Curls under flash.
Pressure.
Yeah, honestly, I tried.
So
I tried.
Did you try printing it?
Yeah, a bit of a pain. So I'd put them on the pallets. Maybe the thing I was doing wrong was putting them on cold pallets and then flashing them to get them up to temperature, and it was sort of curling and rippling and coming off. And I tried it on the
pallets need to be warm first. Yeah, it might be wet in there as well. I don't know.
Well, I've got a couple of dehumidifiers. I could try that. I tried it on the bare metal, and I tried it on the application tape as well. I had the same problem. I'm wasting it.
Do you know what it might be? You know what it might be? It might be that during shipping, they've started to put a lot more oil on the parts.
The pallets?
Because if they go over this, on everything.
Yeah,
so if anything gets shipped overseas and by sea, then that aggressive salt water is really bad for anything metal. So there is a light coating of spray. So the only thing that gets that off is spotting out fluid.
Well,
it's a natural degreaser.
Potentially, but then I tried application tape on top, and then put the double-sided tape on top of that, and I had the same problem still. So we can rule that out, because I did think of that. Because obviously you get a brand new machine, it's got that
cold. Get a radiator.
It could be. Well, yeah, it could be.
I had a DeLonghi radiator.
I mean, if I store the roll and it the outer layer crumples up on the roll just stored, so that could be a temperature issue. Like if I have to cut off the first couple of inches where it's just been sat the outer layer, because it's because I've left it there, it's just gone out.
What's the humidity like then in your place? Have you got a meter on water?
I have in where I keep my screens and where I wash my screens. I've never really bothered.
I'd stick I'd stick it in that room for a bit and just
See what
I think you
happens.
might be surprised. It might be a bit damp in there. Yeah,
Ah, that's a good idea. I'll try that. I'll move my little sensors and see what happens.
just look at it over a day and see if it gets
I love a dehumidifier,
relatively
mate.
high.
I'll stick them everywhere.
Hmm.
One in every room.
But then you've got a humidifier as well working in there.
Yes, now then, let's talk about the humidifier because it's doing my tits in a little bit. I can't stop it from dripping all of it where causing puddles. I've got this mega humidifier and it's for growing hydroponics.
Yeah, tomatoes.
Tomatoes. I bought it from it. I bought it and pumps out so much fog. Fog. So I've obviously got my little unit, stuck a pipe out, put a corner on, and then another corner to point it into the screen. But it's I don't know if it's just because it's got a corner, but it's dripping.
Probably it'll be hitting that, then hitting that, and then condensing
Dripping
on those
down.
two corners.
But there
and
must
dripping.
be a way to fix that because loads of people have foggers and loads of them have pipes everywhere.
Try to tilt it upwards instead of because it comes out and goes down, doesn't it? Like an upside down
I
J.
could tilt it upwards, but then it'd be humidifying the area above my screen. What's the point in that?
Or just maybe drill a hole in that middle pipe and let it drain away.
Well, I thought about putting a catcher underneath it, which runs back into the container, so it's like filling itself back up. I thought of that.
Like perpetual motion. Yeah.
But I don't feel like that's a solution. If I really had to, I'll go do that. I'll make it. I'll just put like half a drain pipe underneath it, which runs into a tube, and I'll tie wrap it.
Most of them do drip. Most of them are a little bit moist.
A little bit moist. It's not ideal because you don't want puddles in your screens.
The M&R one had clear pipe, so you could see it gathering in the dip of the pipe, and then you had to pull it out and empty it out. The other ones are straight up, no corner on them, so it's throwing moisture in. Or you can get a bendy, flexible pipe. So the flexible pipe is not as many hard corners.
No.
So when it comes straight out in a flexible, like a washing machine that used to hang over edge at sink.
Yeah. I do. Yeah.
That.
Aren't we old?
Must be. I know. Yeah, that's a Yorkshire. It must be a Yorkshire thing or something like that. Yeah. Like that grey pipe with a bracket on they used to put over edge at sink.
I think that's a skin thing.
From Twin Tub, it's a skin thing. Yeah, it's a skin thing. Yeah. Maybe try that because then it's at least it's not hitting a solid condenser plate point. It's actually going around in a circle.
I just had this idea as well. Is what if you run a pipe up, down? Sorry, run a pipe up across. So at the minute, mine's up, across, pointing down. What if I went up, across, down, across, up, and then point down? So there's a little catcher. So all the liquid drains at the bottom, and then you could almost have a tap, in a cup. Do you know what I mean? Like if you go to an hairdresser's or toilets have those little U-bends that catches all crap.
It's like a U-bend, yeah.
In fact, actually, my wash up.
I'd try a flexible. I'd look at a flexible pipe first.
I'll have a look.
So you make it more of a curve than a straight.
Yeah, I've got a piece. My original plan was to have me humidifier in a certain place, and I've got basically like if you think of a garden hose, it's just thicker, a bigger piece of garden hose, which would clip to my staircase and then point over the head.
I've seen this.
I'll show you a picture.
Sarah at Heck Press. No, you know that humidifier you've got?
Yeah.
If you Google it, you get one that's got 4 spouts coming out of it. Yeah. Fucking hell. Where have you got that from?
Amazon. It took me ages to find a
siphoning fuel.
Have I told you a story about
diesel lorries?
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think now. She got these little clips.
I've seen it's like 4. I see it quite in a few places.
And a flexible pipe. So then the flexible pipe's coming up and pointing that way. So there's no bend. It's coming up and she's got like a, them...
Maybe it's the bend then.
Like a C-clip.
Yeah.
And then the pipe sits in this C-clip. And it's just always on the machine as it goes up and down, pointing forwards rather than down.
You see, I've tried. So my pipe, I've had a piece. So I've got a piece at points down. But I can take that off, so it's just a straight pipe, a straight piece of PVC plumbing pipe, and that it's the same problem. Tried it.
Because it's hitting that corner first before it gets to that straight bit.
Yeah.
If it comes straight out and goes around a corner rather than hitting a right angle.
A right angle, possibly. You might be right there. Yeah, so maybe. I'll try it. I'll take all those corners off. I'll stick a piece of that tube on at a curve. It sort of rounds itself naturally anyway, so I can't really avoid it. I'll try it. But, yeah, it's been bugging me because it's really effective with V3 and other water-based inks. I do feel it makes a big difference. And I know I've heard some people say, it don't do a lot. I found it works really well. Keeps that ink.
So we were
really
doing
flowy.
it. One screen had it and the other screen didn't.
Yeah.
And you could feel the difference in the ink when you were turning it over.
I felt so. Yeah.
One went chalky and sticky, and the other one stayed quite loose and flexible.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. I'm also
like a day after a piss up's poo. One of them.
Oh, I don't know. I don't get pissed these days, so I can't remember. I'm a good boy. I had too many bad experiences. I also chatted to Dimension, and he's started putting a bit of neutral in his V2 or self-leveling, just a tad. It just helps keep it flowing. So, some people have a spray bottle. They don't do that. They just put a bit of neutral in before the print, and that apparently achieves the same thing.
It does, but you lose a bit of opacity.
Yeah, but if it's only but he used the word a dab of, or something like that.
A technical
a tad. So
just
it's
put
not
a tad in.
It's not 50-50 ratio or anything like that. It's literally just chucking a little bit in, just to get that little bit of flow in it. Yeah, so that's a little. So I've been playing with that. I've got some neutral and I've got then is it ND or something? I've got some ND white. I've got a bit of that.
ND stands for non-drying.
Is that an issue to mix
so
it?
Don't dry it screen. But I don't like it.
Well, I've got some in my V3 and I've put a little bit in just to see what it's like. Just experimenting a bit, really. I'll give it a go. Can't talk really, can it? It's only single colour stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I've been playing with, trying to get my head around. Have I got any other problems? Whilst my agony aunt is here. Oh, agony aunt! That reminds me. I don't want to talk about this one though, because she's given us a very specific Christmassy New Year's topic. And I feel like if we do it on the Christmas episode, it'd be quite good, because what she's asked is quite relevant. Are we for time?
We've got about 5 minutes left.
5 minutes? Right. Quick one. Diazo. By hand or drill?
By hand.
Right, why? Because you're working air into it.
Well, air's one thing, but you can get the air out easily. It's the same reason we use a wooden stirring stick and not a metal stirring stick.
Oh, that's another. Why?
Now, for years, I thought this were a chemical reaction, because I was always told never, ever, ever, under any circumstances, stick a metal pallet knife into a tub of emulsion when you're adding the sensitizer, the diazo. And so it got inbuilt into me that, well, there's a chemical reaction, that the world ends, or, it gives off green toxic gas, but something happens. And I found out the answer through Kevin Kauth, emulsion guru. It's just pure, simple. The black plastic bucket that it comes in.
Yeah.
If you use anything sharp or metal on the side of that, you'll scrape off tiny little bits, and they will go in your emulsion.
Oh, clever. You don't think about this.
Learn something new every day. So if you notice, most emulsions used to come with a free wooden stirring stick.
Yeah, my last couple, that's why I've been using a metal pallet knife. Never knew that.
You scrape around the edges when you're trying to get all the emulsion.
You do.
And you're shaving the edge of the bucket, and those little bits fall into your emulsion, become contaminants. If they're a sharp bit, they'll bust the screen when you're coating. Yeah. And if they're not a sharp bit, they'll create a pinhole when you wash away the screen, develop the screen.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking microscopic. We're not talking about actual shards of plastic.
It's something I got taught right from the mid-'80s. It was sort of like never, ever, ever, ever put metal into emulsion. And so I just presumed, I never asked the question why, I just presumed it was a chemical reaction. No, it's just so that you don't shave the edge of the black plastic bucket.
Classic example of skill dilution there, Tony.
There you go.
What we printed? We're not printing shirts. We're printing time. Not my one, is it?
We're not selling prints, we're selling time.
There you go, Doggos. I've got it in for you.
If you're gonna play Chippy Tea bingo, then to stop us going off on a tangent, then you'll be taking a shot every time you hear one of those magic phrases of power or detail.
So, is it bad to use a drill?
Yeah, I wouldn't use a drill because it's usually got something metal on the end of it.
As long as with a drill, you won't touch the sides.
Story
of my fucking life.
What you?
Last hot dog in a tin.
Last hot dog in a tin. I've heard that. Yeah.
Hey.
Oh,
Sorry,
like a wizard's sleeve.
Well, we've ruined this episode.
Yeah, we've gone, aren't we? Yeah, we've got about 3 minutes of usable stuff. Even though we're going. What were you using? What were you sticking in drill?
Oh no, I was just thinking about it the other day, thinking I could probably make my life a lot easier if I just stick a mixer in a drill.
No.
You don't reckon?
No, I wouldn't.
Dean at Pyramid's coming down in January, and he's going to help me dial in the emulsion. So because I've obviously been using this new Plus Aqua, and I'm not 100% there with it yet. No, but I've not had a chance to sit and do chuffing tinfoil step tests and stuff like that. I've not had a chance.
I'm getting a lot of good results from one called Hydro X, but I haven't used it, so I'm always a little bit dubious of recommending stuff that I haven't physically used. But I'm getting good reports from one called Hydro X, which is a Chromaline product, and I think Pyramid sell that. Yeah. I think they sell that. We've done that for a while, have we?
Not done that. Can't do that no more.
Well, we've got an issue because one of the guys from there is now at another one. He's moved, so we're screwed.
It's not that big an issue, is it? I can't do that every episode. I get finger ache. Right, what's your plan, Tony lad? You got a fun day of activities?
I've got a run. I've got a couple of meetings, and then I'm going to jump in the car, drive to Munich, and then take my 55th flight of the year, and go home.
Bloody good.
Well, I'm going to lock the front door and put my Christmas jumper on, my Christmas slippers on, and sit with dog and do nout. Yeah, do nout. Absolutely nout until 8th of January, I think is my first booking. But and then I'm pretty much busy until March.
Are you forgetting something?
Looking really good for next year.
I think you're forgetting something. A little road trip?
Well, yeah, next week, yeah. It's not really work though, is it?
No. I'm not here. I don't want to use and abuse your knowledge. Just help me line the fucker up, and then we'll get pissed.
That's a normal plan. I might do a little bit of a milk round next week, and just put my head into some places and say hello, because I do travel a lot and I don't get opportunity to go see people as much as I'd like to.
Bless you. You're right, you're sociable. You're like the opposite of me, really.
Stick some miles on my car.
Oh, yeah, as if it's not got enough. It must do some wheels. Bloody hell.
I'm always here.
Chuffing now. Well,
I suppose you do. To the airport, that's all I do.
I suppose you do.
I leave it for 6 weeks.
I'm sure you could set your car to just do a couple of laps every day, just to get the engine running.
It probably does, yeah.
Right, go on then. Fuck off.
Right, buddy. I shall let you crack on with your day. Get some shirts printed.
Right, I will. I shall.
And we will physically catch up next week.
Yeah, I'm going to set my little camera up. Point it at us.
Yeah,
this microphone.
Get to Quality Street.
Get to Quality Street. Boxer, what's your favourite beer?
It's like there is no favourite beer. It's just beer.
It's like your kids. You love them all the same.
I like that. Yeah. No, I've got a favourite kid.
Yeah.
She knows she is.
Oh. Good job he don't listen.
Right,
Does he?
all right. Yeah, they've got no chance here. Right then, buddy. So we shall sign it off.
Yeah.
You have been listening to, watching, and involved with me, Tony P from Palmprint, and
Danny D, Flippy Sweets, Print Coat, all best. See you later. Catch you on the flip side, motherfuckers.
I'll see there.
Oh, you keep giving me posh, no, she don't agree with me. I don't want lobster thermidor with raspberry Kool-Aid. It's Friday night, I'm within me rights. I want a Chippy Tea.